Don't talk about the United Cannabis
Don't talk about it or talk about it?
It sounded like
I thought it was talk about it.
It sounded like
first
the
rule of
Fight
United
Club.
Cannabis Club is talk about United Cannabis
It
Club.
sounded like the Fight Club.
Sorry.
Hi everyone, my name is Angelica. I am the founder of United Cannabis Club nonprofit. Today I have my co-host and guest, attorney Theodore Christian Seveen. We're here in the beautiful building downtown Long Beach at his co-working space, weedmaps. We're so happy to be here with you guys today. Today we are going to be talking about sports and athletics. Do they mix? We're talking about that today because it's been in the news more and more recently, and specifically the NBA has decided to extend their policy change temporarily, or hopefully it'll stay permanent. But right now they decided that specifically the NBA and the National Basketball Players Association have agreed not to conduct randomized tests for marijuana during the 2020 and 2021 season. And this is an extension of their previous ban, as during the pandemic, they also suspended testing of their players, but they've decided to go ahead and extend, and it's to be seen if they'll decide to make sure that this policy stays permanent. What do you think?
Well, I think that's a great step in the right direction. Randomized drug testing is a very oppressive thing in any workplace, or for someone that's on probation or parole, anything like that. It's just a constant stress that you have on your mind. There's this threat that somebody can take your livelihood away or take your freedom away from you, and every single day you have to either check in with them on an app or phone call thing, or you wait for them to call you, or whatever it may be, however the system is set up, or email you. But every day you have to think about, I might have to go and prove to them that I'm good enough. Prove that my system is clean, which in this case means I don't have a plant in my system, that they may be using to help them sleep, or to help fight inflammation, or to help them relax, whatever it may be, even if they're using it recreationally. That's okay. They don't test for alcohol in their systems. All these athletes are out there getting DUIs and other things, and they punish them for that. But if Michael Phelps had been photographed popping a bottle of champagne, that would have been fine. But he gets caught with a bong and he's suspended. I think it's a great step in the right direction, because the NBA, the NFL, the MLB, they all they're coming to terms with reality, and reality is marijuana is not bad for you. And
when you put when you put it that way, it actually sounds to me like they're putting the players on probation.
Well, that's kind of what it is.
And
they want to monitor their behavior.
They haven't even committed a crime.
Yeah, and some of that, it's a privilege to be an athlete. You can say all those sort of things, but again, this isn't. This is taking away something that a lot of people are using as a pain management or other, as a tool that is recognized now by medicine and has been recognized by humans for our entire existence. Our brain and physical bodies throughout have receptors for cannabinoids. So clearly we have evolved together. And humans, having a moderate and reasonable relationship with marijuana is potentially beneficial for some people. But either way, the owners having extra rules for people, again, it's something that puts a lot of unnecessary stress on people and just sets them up to be potentially, it's a control mechanism, right? It's a control thing. And our society is about control, and these owners, they like to have control over their athletes that they see as, they're our employees, and that's to some degree fair. But these guys aren't flying planes; they're shooting a basketball or throwing a football. If they do that while they're high, that's okay.
Yeah, and so the World Anti-Doping Agency, that's the organization that kind of sets the standards on which substances are banned And they have certain criteria that they hold different substances against to decide, if they're on the list or not. And when it comes to marijuana, basically marijuana has hit 2 of the 3 criteria that they have as a standard. And their prohibited list for substances is that it has the potential to enhance a sport's performance, or it's a health risk to the athlete, or it violates the spirit of sport. And they admit that the spirit of sport criteria is way harder to define. Yet that is essentially what's keeping cannabis on the substance ban list, which is really crazy. And essentially it's because athletes can be considered role models. And that goes back to what you were saying with Michael Phelps, when he got caught with the photo of him taking a big bong rip that was all over the tabloids. He ultimately received a 3-month suspension from the USA swimming team. And it's because he was considered a role model. So it really didn't have anything to do with, his health or any wrongdoing, essentially. It was more about perception, I would say.
Of course, everything's perception. And I think it's hilarious. I mean, Charles Barkley had something really funny to say about the idea of being a role model back then.
He's so funny.
If your kids are being raised by the athletes they see on TV, then there's a problem. And it's the parents' issue to resolve, not the athletes. They should not be teaching the morals and values to your children. You should.
Yeah, definitely. And we all remember, most recently, Sha'Carri Richardson. She was hit with a 30-day suspension after she tested positive for THC, the active ingredient in marijuana. So while these national sports teams are deciding to really reflect on the laws that they've had in place, the policies they've had in place, we're commending the NBA for deciding to remove marijuana. The MLB has decided to remove it. They don't test they decided cannabis is not on the list of banned substances. So Major League Baseball is also doing that. NFL, do we know what?
Well, they have this sort of a tiered system where it's banned, and they will refer you to a counseling or intervention drug program. And if you continue to test positive and you're not in that program, you're not following the rules, then they will suspend you. So they are changing their policy. They're getting there, but there still is a system set up where they will put you on their version of probation, and you have to play the game, and you have to go to counseling or do whatever else, because they want you to not be doing it, for whatever reasons they may have, paternalistic or selfish, or just being, old school, reefer madness, whatever.
I love that phrase, reefer madness.
Well, that's what these people grew up with.
I know.
It's it's crazy.
And an NBA player in particular, Kevin Durant, he's actually taken the charge. He's actually formed a partnership.
That was a nice pun. He's taking a charge. Hopefully he doesn't legally end up taking a charge.
Taking a stand.
Yes.
He's decided to partner up with weedmaps. So this is kind of unprecedented, that an NBA player, because unlike MLB players they're allowed to have it in their system or not be tested, but they are not allowed to partner with any sort of marijuana companies. But Kevin Durant, he's actually launched his own philanthropic organization called 35 Ventures, and they plan to elevate the conversation around athletics and marijuana as more states move to legalize and more athletes begin to open up about their relationship with the plant. So we all have different relationships with these plants. They all do different things for us. But in a statement by the weedmaps CEO, Chris Beals, he said it's no secret that many of the present attitudes towards cannabis are rooted in outdated beliefs and frankly lies about the plant that have been perpetuated for decades. And adding that the aims of the new efforts to provide a fresh dialogue around how cannabis can be used for athlete recovery. So through this partnership, they'll look to break down the stigmas that have made cannabis use, particularly among athletes, so taboo. And Kevin Durant also said in a press release that now more than ever, there's so much opportunity for growth in the cannabis industry, as well as the removal of any remaining stigmas around its use. So we'll see what happens with that. His organization is paired up with weedmaps. Weedmaps, hopefully he is able to keep thriving in the NBA and also, have this organization grow, because the NBA needs to keep their policies the way it is now. I don't think they can afford to go back, and it wouldn't make sense for them to overturn this new light that they're seeing marijuana in as when it comes in terms to athletes.
Oh yeah, there's no going back. So what about you personally? What's your experience with or view on using marijuana while playing a sport or doing something athletic, because you're maybe not the competitive sports type?
I am a little competitive, but when it comes to sports, I exercise, and that's not really sports, but it is, a form of.
It's an athletic thing you're doing. So how do you feel your performance is either enhanced or hurt or impacted by one way or the other by marijuana if you do use it?
Yeah, I love Pilates, and I have been, I do take maybe a gummy, 5 milligrams, 10 milligrams, and start working out. And, the good thing about the gummies is that it slowly, starts to hit you. And I notice that I'm so in the zone when I'm doing my workout, and it really does enhance the workout, I feel. And I know other people that work out on it. I know joggers, like insane endurance people that are super, avid marijuana users. So there's a lot of people that actually use it, and I don't know if it enhances the performance, but it definitely enhances the experience, and it helps me want to work out.
Well, and that's a very important distinction. Enhancing the experience is not banned. And enhancing the performance, that's fair to ban, but it's for most of us, what matters is the experience.
It should.
And so,
especially when it comes to marijuana.
And the main benefits from it are in the recovery period, like Kevin Durant mentioned, and with anti-inflammation or helping people sleep better, those sort of things. Just the best thing for you is to get a good night's sleep, and your body can repair itself. And so, if the argument for banning something is it helps you sleep well, that's a pretty pathetic argument. If they're trying to say that you lift more weights when you're high, I think everybody knows that's not true. But you might be more focused on it. You might enjoy the activity more, which might allow you to practice more, and all those sort of things. So, it may be something that does slightly help with your training regimen, but the idea that, those normally things are not banned that help you train. Things that give you an unfair advantage or somehow enhance your performance.
Like a pre-workout
in a
supplement.
legal way, and these people take all kinds of supplements. It's this constant game of changing slightly the supplement they're taking so it doesn't trigger the test. It's just baseball did this, all these other sports. They're always, even cycling, there's blood doping. It's like these athletes are always looking for these crazy ways around the rules, and they're doing a lot of things that are trying to cheat. Marijuana is not one of them, and so to take away someone, like for Sha'Carri Richardson to miss the Olympics, and in her case, I believe she smoked marijuana because she had a friend that passed away, and she said,
I think
had a weak moment,
her,
and
her close family member,
or family member, yeah. Actually, I think you're right. And to think about, you have a moment where
she's coping with.
You smoke some marijuana with someone else in your family or a friend, and you're letting that pain go, or in some way, other shape or form, processing it, and to miss the Olympics you worked for your whole life for that's tragic.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that is. Well, I hope to see her compete again. I'm not sure if she will.
I'm sure she will. I don't think she's done. I don't know if she'll make the Olympics again, though. That's what's so tough about it is, there's short windows in those careers, but hopefully she will.
So what do you guys think? Do you guys think the NBA will keep their policy and remove marijuana from their banned substances list? Let us know. How do you feel? Do you like to smoke weed or take gummies and work out? Let us know your experiences in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We're on WeedTube, YouTube. Follow us on Instagram. And check us out on Patreon, where you can get access to our episodes a little bit early and become a member of the United Cannabis Club for as low as $5 a month.
What's the first rule of United Cannabis Club?
Don't talk about the United Cannabis
Club. Don't talk about it or talk about it?
It sounded like
I thought it was talk about it.
It sounded like
first rule of United Cannabis Club is talk about United Cannabis Club.
It sounded like the Fight Club.
Sorry.
Yeah, the first rule is just to contribute to the conversation.
There you go. Exactly. Talk about it.
Yeah. If you want to read more of the stories that we talked about today, visit our website, unitedcannabis.club. And my name's Angelica. Again, this is Ted Sevine, and we will catch you on the next one, guys.